Okay, now we are now doing equations involving sets. You have never done this type of equations, but they require your knowledge of equations from grade 10 and grade 9. Okay, now throughout, I'm going to do this today and probably the next lesson as well when we come to school. So I'm going to start with, with an example which is simple, like question A. Okay, so we have the square root of x minus 4 minus 5, or minus 5 equal to 0. Now, I want you to be aware here that this minus 5 is outside the square root sign. Okay, it is outside the square root sign. All right, so when you want to solve this, the first thing you need to isolate that set, that is the square root of x minus 4. So we'll say square root of x minus 4 is going to be equal to positive 5. So we take the negative 5 to the right first. Okay? Then to eliminate the square root on the left, we have to square both sides of the equation. So our next step is to say square root of x minus 4 all squared is equal to 5 squared. That's where we start. Right? Okay? Then the next thing here, the square root of x minus 4 all squared will give us x minus 4. And on the right hand side, we are going to have 25. So we take the minus 4 to the right, we get x equal to 29. Okay? Now, sometimes when you are solving equations involving sets, you may need to carry out a test or a checking. Okay? So, if I want to prove that my answer is right, it means where there is x here, I have to put what? 29. So if I put 29 here, 29 minus 4 will give me 25. The square root of 25 is a 5. So it becomes 5 minus 5, which gives us 0. Which means this answer here is correct. So you may need to check. In fact, I encourage you to check every time you do questions on sets. Just do a quick check to make sure that your answer is 100% correct. Okay, because not all solutions are valid when you are dealing with equations involving sets. All right, so that's the first question. Is there anybody who has got a question before I carry on? And if you don't have a question, then allow me to do C. On the next page, I'll do question C. So C, we have the square root of 5x plus 6 is equal to x. Okay? So as I said earlier, the first thing is to eliminate the square root sign. If there's no number on the right hand side of the set or of the square root. So here, our first step, we say 5x plus 6, then we square that to remove the square root sign, and we square the right hand side. Remember, in maths, when you're dealing with equations, whatever you do on the left, do it on the right hand side. Once you get this, you get 5x plus 6 equal to x squared. Now, because of this x squared, it means you now need to form a quadratic equation. That's why you did quadratic equations in grade 9, grade 10. You are going to do quadratic equations again this year. That's our next topic actually. So, the next step here would be to create a quadratic equation. So I'm going to take this and that to the right, and then I'll get 0 equal to x squared minus 5x minus 6, which I can write as x squared minus 5x minus 6 equal to 0, without changing the sign because of the movement from the left to right. The equation can be written in any of the two ways. No sign changes. Okay? Then I need to factorize this. So I open my two brackets. Okay, it becomes x here, x there, then I have minus 3 there, and minus 2. Which means I'll have x minus 3 equal to 0, or x minus 2 equal to 0. Therefore, x is going to be 3, or x is going to be positive 2. Alright? Now, once we do that, we have found two values of x. We now need to check if both are correct. So, if I want to check if they are correct, right, I'm going to do it on the side here. Always do the checking. Let's start with x equal to 3. If I put x equal to 3 there, we are going to have 5 times 3 plus 6. This is going to be equal to 3. Let's check if this is possible. If I multiply 5 times 3...
Sorry, sir. Doesn't...
Oh, sorry. My factorization is not right. Okay. Let me redo the factorization. I also saw it just now. Let me redo the factorization. My factors are not correct. Okay, let me redo that. Sorry. So this will be x, that should be minus 6, and that will be positive 1. So this becomes x minus 6 equal to 0, or x plus 1 equal to 0. So you get x equal to 6, or x equal to minus 1. Okay, so it's fine now. Okay, I made a mistake on the factorization, but let's carry on. It's not a big deal. Right? Let's carry on. So I factorized correctly, I've solved, I've got two values of x. So let me check the two values. Let me start with x equal to 6. So I'll put 6 where there is x there. So 5 times 6 plus 6 is equal to 6. This will give me square root of 36, which is equal to 6. So that's correct, which means that answer is right. X equal to 6 is correct. Let's test x equal to minus 1. X equal to minus 1, we will say 5 times minus 1 plus 6. This is equal to minus 1. That's what it is saying. Right? If I simplify here, I'll get the square root of 1. Now, you see here, the square root of 1, it's both a positive and a negative. Okay, but generally, it's the positive one, which means we have to reject this one here. Okay? We are rejecting it because square root of 1 is not only minus 1. There's also a negative 1. So it's in fact, it's not only minus 1, there's also a positive 1. So because when you are doing questions like this, generally we consider the positive square root of numbers. So square root of 1 is not entirely equal to minus 1. Because of that, we reject x equal to negative 1. This is one of the reasons why when you are doing equations involving sets, you have to test your answers. So the first one is fine, x equal to 6 is very straightforward. It gives us 6 on both sides. But x equal to minus 1 does not give us minus 1 on both sides. Okay? And because the square root of 1, it's a 1. Also, it can be equal to minus 1. So we have got two possibilities. So we reject x equal to minus 1. Alright? Any question there? And if you don't have a question, then I think for today I'll stop here. Okay, I'll give you homework on equations involving sets. Right. So thank you so much for coming online.